Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the February 2023 meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. Hearings before this commission are quasi-judicial in nature. This is a design review process to determine whether a proposed project is congruous with the special character of the historic district or landmark in which it is located. Decisions of the commission are based on the record of these proceedings, the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks, and the Secretary of Interior's Standards for Rehabilitation. Evidence submitted to the Commission for review will become part of the record. Appeal of a Commission decision must be submitted to the Wilmington Board of Adjustment within 30 days of the date of the Commission's action. Further appeal must be submitted to a Superior Court. Evidence pertaining to an agenda item must be presented during the evidentiary portion of that item. Individuals who wish to address the Commission will be sworn in as witnesses to present material and substantial evidence. The Chair will recognize each witness who wishes to address the Commission during the evidentiary portion. In order to ensure witness evidence is properly recorded, each individual should come to the podium and clearly state their name and address before addressing the Commission. As a brief reminder, members of the Commission are appointed by and serve at the pleasure of City Council. Our charge is with respect to the protection and preservation of properties located within the city's designated historic districts. The Commission is held to the requirements of the Wilmington Design Standards for Historic Districts and Landmarks, as well as the applicable North Carolina state law. We are to determine whether exterior changes to a building are congruous with the special character of the city's historic districts. It is important that the Commission deliberate the merits of each request in a manner that provides a record of the basis for our decisions. Please remember our deliberation should be centered on how a project meets the Wilmington Design Standards and whether those changes are congruous. Commissioners, if you have received or been made aware of any information outside this evidentiary hearing related to any agenda item before the Commission, please recuse yourself from that agenda item. Before the meeting begins, please ensure that all cell phones are in silent mode or turned off. The city staff that are helping us tonight, Ms. Melissa Huffman, the Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Linda Painter, Planning Director, Ms. Jessica Brown, Historic Preservation Planner, Ms. Amy Bradshaw, Planning Coordinator, and Megan Basic, Associate Planner. I'm Kathleen Egan, the Commission Chair, and my fellow commissioners will now introduce themselves as well.
Ross Tomaselli.
Stephen Sulkey.
Ashley Wilson.
Christopher Yermal.
Ron Wilson.
Allison Watts.
Thank you. We will now swear in those present who wish to present evidence related to an agenda item.
If I could have all staff applicants and anybody here who wishes to speak this evening to please stand up and raise your right hand. Who are the applicants? Only you? Is he the only applicant? I'll need you to stand up as well as an applicant. You're not going to speak? Okay. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't see the minutes, so we're not going to review the minutes tonight. Okay. Okay, so we will now move to the evidentiary portion of the meeting. And the evidentiary portion begins with the first agenda item, the staff report.
I'm going to recuse myself from this item.
Good evening. Okay. 406 North 5th Street, North 5th Avenue. The applicant seeks to construct a new two-story dwelling with an interior accessory dwelling on the vacant lot. The subject lot is a 3,000 square foot vacant lot. The subject lot is located on the east side of North 5th Street between Red Cross and Walnut Streets. The subject property is a non-contributing resource in the historic district, and revisions to all facades of the building and site are subject to design review within this district. The applicant seeks to construct a new two-story dwelling with an interior accessory dwelling unit. The proposed dwelling will be 21 feet wide by 74 feet deep, and a total lot area is 3,000 square feet with a building footprint of 1554 square feet, approximately 52% of the lot. The front facade will be set back 15 feet, the side facade will be set back 5 feet, and a rear facade will be set back 10 feet. The proposed dwelling will feature a CMU foundation wall with no more than 20 inches in height, hardy plank siding, lap siding with a 6-inch reveal in the color stone paver. The gable ends will feature hardy shake siding in the color stone paver, and all trim will be painted Sherwin-Williams extra white. The roof will be a GAF architectural shingles, and the windows will be in the color shown charcoal. And the windows will be an MGM vinyl windows with a 1/1 light pattern. 3 fixed windows on the southern facade seen here at the top right will be a single light MGM vinyl fixed sash window. The southern facade will have a shed roof hood at the entry door, and the entry door will match the front facade entry door, and hood will have similar brackets and supports. Staff notes, as seen here in the map, that the neighborhood has a variety of setbacks and directly across Fifth Avenue. Most of the row is directly along the street wall, while along the eastern side, it varies from 10 feet to 25 feet. Along Walnut and Red Cross, there is also a variety of setbacks. Staff notes that the surrounding buildings range in height with a variety of porch styles, and staff notes that the historic district residential contains some of the finest of Wilmington's high-style and vernacular residential architecture. So here I just made street views so you can see one side of the street, both sides of the Fifth Avenue there, as well as from the corners along the west side, east side. Staff would like to enter tonight's report in its entirety to the record tonight.
Are there any questions for staff from members of the commission?
Did they submit any kind of a plan that indicates the trees or anything on there? I noticed there's a big tree right there in the right front. Is that city-owned, or is that on the applicant?
They did not submit a landscape plan, but my understanding is that it's not to be, it won't be touched.
Okay, but is it on their property, or is that city? Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I think it's on theirs, but I don't know the answer for sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we will now give the applicant the opportunity to provide additional evidence or answer any questions. Just state your name and address so we can put it in the minutes.
Christian Gann. My home address is 4712 Stillwell Road in Wilmington, North Carolina, 28412.
Do you know if that tree is on the city-owned property, or?
I wouldn't state my name on it, but I'm pretty sure it is on the street side of the sidewalk and not on in that property line.
Okay.
Are there any questions from anyone?
Yeah, I guess all your parking is going to be on-street parking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And basically, this is a duplex that you're designing, correct? I mean, it's...
Essentially, but with the historical classifications of the single-family residence with an accessory dwelling unit.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. We will now open the evidentiary portion to members of the public for any further information. Then we will close the evidentiary portion and go to commissioner deliberation.
I just have a question. Maybe the commissioners know, but the applicant is describing this as a accessory unit attached. and I've never heard of that myself. I mean, accessory unit is typically separate, is that correct, staff, or?
There are two zoning levels. There's accessory units that are detached, and there are attached accessory units. So we have interior accessory dwelling units as well. But that is not something that the commission has purview on.
Right, okay. Just never heard of that, so, okay. All right, thank you.
Does someone want to make a motion then? Looks like we're,
I think they're showing vinyl windows in the plans. I mean, we're going to let that go? I didn't think we could use vinyl windows, or maybe, is that on new construction? We can do that?
yeah, new construction.
I think they're faddish, but we don't have any purview over that either.
Ms. Wilson, the microphone, please.
Dark windows are faddish, but we don't have any purview over that either. They're just vinyl. It's new.
Brand new building.
The commission has approved vinyl windows on new construction in the past.
Then, in that case, I move to approve with conditions the request to construct a new two-story dwelling and to adopt the proposed finding of facts, details as shown in the drawings, plans, photographs, submittals, and narrative statement contained in the application and submittal materials and statements made at this meeting are part of the request unless otherwise noted. The motion is based upon the evidence presented before us, the application submittals, testimony, staff reports, including the findings of facts. The following conditions shall be applied to ensure compliance with the design standards, those set forth in the staff report 1 through 10. The proposed request with conditions does comply with the Wilmington Design Standards for historic districts and landmarks, is compatible with the materials, features, design, context, and character of the historic building and the historic district in which it is located, and is congruous with the site, streetscape, and historic aspects of the historic residential as a whole. All applicable design standards apply.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That will move us to agenda item number 2 and the staff report.
The applicant proposes to install vinyl windows. The J. Lowell White House, located at 116 North 16th Street, was built circa 1915. The 1.5-story, 7-bay wide bungalow features wide overhanging eaves, a corbelled chimney, and weatherboard siding. The front facade has a full-width porch supported by Doric columns and a shed roof dormer with 3 casement windows. The central double-leaf entry door is flanked by 6 8-light paired casement windows. The windows and the front entry door all feature an architrave-style trim. The side and rear facades have 1/1 sash windows. The south facade features a 3-sided bay with 1/1 sash windows and a central 6-light paneled double-leaf door. The subject lot also features a 1-story gable front 1-car garage with matching overhanging eaves and siding. The subject lot is located on the southeast corner of Chestnut and North 16th Streets, with the front facade facing North 16th Street. The subject property and garage are contributing resources to the Carolina Heights Winnetka Terrace Historic District overlay. Only that which can be seen from the public right-of-way, excluding alleys, is subject to design review. The applicant proposes to remove all 6 wooden paired casement windows from the front west facade. They would then install West Shore Home slider vinyl windows in the color white into the existing openings. These slider windows would be double pane with a 16 light pattern and SDL grids. 5 1/1 sash windows on the north facade and 4 1/1 sash windows from the south facade are proposed to be replaced with West Shore Home 1/1 sash, double pane, white vinyl windows within the existing openings. Staff notes that all 4 facades are visible from the public right-of-way. During the staff site visit, it was observed that the paired casement windows along the front facade are historic to the dwelling as they feature historic float glass. The 1/1 sash windows along the north and south side facades do not appear to be original. The design standards recommend preserving original windows, but in the case where that is not possible, replace only the deteriorated part matching the original in size, scale, proportion, material, and detail. The design standards also state that vinyl-clad windows are not appropriate in the historic districts. Staff would like to enter the staff report in its entirety in tonight's proceedings at this time.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, thanks. We'll now give the applicant an opportunity to provide additional evidence or answer questions. Please state your name and address for the minutes.
My name is Griffin Marge. I live at 116 North 16th Street. I don't have any additional evidence, but happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks.
Have you done any investigation of the possibility of repairs? I mean, your windows are amazing. They're timeless. I know that you might have a problem with efficiency, but you can deal with that with interior storms and doing restoration work, repair work by carpenters or, skillful painters.
Yeah, so the previous owner on those 6 on the front facade have just placed plexiglass inside. So we have thought about maintaining those 6, but the other 1/1 windows we would like to replace.
And if you were to, so you're saying that the 6 in the front, which obviously are probably one of the most striking features of the home, you have considered repairing those, but not repairing the other 1/1s on the sides?
No.
Because whatever craftsperson did the work on the front could also do those, and you could put storm windows on those and kind of retain that original character that's 108 years old.
Yeah, no, I believe it was the original owner who did the work, and they just put plexiglass inside and kind of caulked it in.
Yeah. But there are companies that do interior storms, that attach with magnets, and they're easy to remove, and once you do a restoration on the actual window itself. But I think there's an opportunity here to keep these, and you kind of retain that charm and retain the value too. I think a value that you can't get once you replace those with something else like what's being proposed.
Would you consider going to wooden windows, as vinyl are really not applicable for this particular application?
Yes, so we did get a quote from another contractor for wooden windows. It was 7X, so that's off the table for us, but that is an option.
All right, thank you.
Was that for all the windows or just the windows on the north side?
That was for all the windows that we had been quoted for.
Okay.
And typically, repair and restoration is cheaper than, especially a new construction wood window is not inexpensive. I acknowledge that, but a restoration is cheaper. And then, one of the other benefits, I could write a book on the benefits, but one of the other benefits that's easy is the fact that, in perpetuity, going forward decades, you don't have to worry about a part that you can't get any longer from a manufacturer of a contemporary window. All of these parts are interchangeable. You can always do repairs. It's very, very basic technology. Whereas in the future, if something goes wrong, a spring breaks or something like that inside of a mechanism, inside of a jam or something like that, and that manufacturer doesn't have anymore, then you're replacing that window again and maybe replacing it again later on. So, it's just, and Historic Wilmington Foundation does periodic classes. You know, a savvy homeowner can go to one of these classes at the Historic Wilmington Foundation and kind of see for themselves how to do the repair, and it's a neat, you know, thing for a homeowner to know how to do that kind of a thing. You know, you just get it demystified, and it's not that complicated. There's another solution here that I think you'd be pleased with if it were, you know, if you're to go that route of repair and internal storms or even exterior storms on the 1/1s. Because those windows, looking at the photographs, I mean, we've seen windows in really, really, really bad shape, and these are these are repairable.
There's such a distinctive characteristic of that house that you would lose. It just wouldn't, it wouldn't be the same house anymore. It wouldn't look like it was built in 1915.
There's a company, Durable Restoration Company, that did all the work at the Burgwin Wright House, and then a company called Double Hung out of Greensboro that's skilled at this, and then also Historic Wilmington Foundation has a Preservation Resources Network, and there's a listing of painters and carpenters there on their website that are good at these kinds of things.
Okay, I'll pick your brain about that after this.
Okay.
Any other questions, or? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we'll open the evidentiary portion to members of the public. If anyone else would like to bring in information? And we'll close the evidentiary portion and go to commissioner deliberation.
Well, it's vinyl windows are flat against the standards. I don't know what more to say.
A motion then?
Well, I just wanted to say, I think with this specific property and the condition that the house is in, you know, there are times where people propose vinyl windows and it's an easy solution, but I think repairing these windows or replacing them with wooden windows, you're going to get the value out of that because so much of the character of this house has been maintained. So it would be a shame to see that go away. I don't know how long you plan on being there, but I think any future home buyer is going to value the fact that you've done whatever you can to maintain the character of the house. So.
I move to deny the request to install vinyl windows and to adopt the proposed findings of facts, details as shown in the drawings, plans, photographs, submittals, and narrative statements. I can't read here. Contained in the application and submittal materials and statements made at this meeting are a part of the request unless otherwise noted. This motion is based upon the evidence presented before us, the application submittals, testimony, staff reports, including the finding of facts. There are no conditions since it's been denied. The proposed request with conditions does not comply with the Wilmington Design Standards for historic districts and landmarks, is not compatible with the materials, features, design, context, and character of the historic building and the historic district in which it is located, and is not congruous with the site, streetscape, and historic aspects of the district residential as a whole, applying all applicable design standards.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That concludes the evidentiary portion of the meeting, and we will now move to any items that from city staff.
Yes, I just wanted to let the commission know that we have an RFP out for update on the design standards. It had some revisions and then was resubmitted out there, and proposals are due on February 13th. So we'll, process will begin very soon. Just kind of wanted to keep y'all informed as that moves along. That's it.
Thank you. Any items any commissioners would like to raise?
I had a quick question for staff. On the previous applicant at 116 North 16th Street, Did staff advise the applicant that vinyl windows would not be acceptable for this?
Yes, sir, we let all applicants know about what
Oh,
the
okay,
design
all right.
standards are.
Okay, I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah, that's part of
we
our
did-
job.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah.
All right.
All right, then I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Aye.
I'm just going to try really hard not to